Hi everyone, and welcome to our webinar on 5 practical ways to save for education fees.
I'm Oliver Chessis,
And I'm Shannon Dooley.
and we're both financial advisors for KWM Wealth.
So we're going to run through 5 practical ways to save for education fees, starting simple and getting more complex as we go on.
Please note that we're mainly going to be using private schools as examples through the presentation. However, the practices can be applied to saving for private tuition, private schools, universities, and postgraduate qualifications as well. The only things that will differ are the costs of each.
So some quick housekeeping. The recording will be made available after the webinar, so don't worry about taking notes. And if you have any questions, please pop them into the chat and we'll answer them at the end. So before we get into the content, let's introduce ourselves properly.
I'm Oliver, and aside from being a financial advisor, I'm also a proud father of 2 boys. So I know the importance of wanting to give children the best start in life. I specialise in helping professionals and business owners plan for their goals, both personal and business. And I'm an expert in helping with education fees, especially with the upcoming introduction of VAT for private schools.
And I'm Shannon. Like Oliver, I'm a financial advisor for KWM Wealth. In addition to my role as a financial advisor, I also lead financial education seminars at Surrey University. So I understand the intricacies that come with planning for education fees. So the first tip that we're going to discuss is about start planning early. So now we're going to have a few polls throughout the presentation. So if you're tuning in from a laptop, can you scan the QR code now and you'll be taken to a website that will update throughout the presentation with various polls. If you're viewing on your phone, then don't worry, you're not going to miss out. If you want to get involved, then you can just put your answers into the Q&A part of the webinar. So we'll give you just a moment just so you can scan the QR code. Okay, so now that everyone is in, the first question is, how many of you know the yearly cost of a private school per year?
Fairly even at the moment. Interesting. More people thinking that they do know the answer actually, and they do know the yearly cost. So for those of you who don't know, according to Schools Fee Checker, the yearly cost of a fee-paying school is £20,480, and for boarding school it's more. It's £34,790. Now, I'm not going to presume your financial situation, but needing that much as a lump sum in short notice would be difficult for most people. However, preparing in advance can make these figures a lot more achievable. If you haven't started your research yet, here are some good questions to ask yourself. What is the yearly cost? What is the fee structure? And are there any payment plans available? Answering these will put you in a good starting point as it gives you a financial goal to work towards.
So we have another poll. So if you've closed the website since that last poll, then you can just scan the QR code again. Now, the next question might not seem relevant at first, but it will become relevant soon. So, would you rather receive £50,000 every day for a month or receive 1p that then doubles in value every day for a month? Okay, we're getting some answers coming in.
Yeah, that's probably what we would have thought, isn't it?
Yeah. So I like asking this question because it allows me to introduce the power of compound interest, which may be key to helping you achieve your financial goal.
So it might seem obvious to want the £50,000 a day, and that is a lot of money. However, the 1p that doubles in value each day will be worth more thanks to the power of compounding. By the end of the month, the 1p a day gives you almost £4 million more because the money has had time to grow with compound interest or compounding. And compounding is the concept of investing an amount and that money, along with the returns, stays invested over time. The longer the compounding process goes on for, a small amount can grow and grow. You can think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and bigger over time. And the longer it has to roll, the bigger it will grow. Now, unfortunately, this example is purely illustrative. It's not that easy to become a millionaire, but we'll give a more realistic example shortly. It does, however, demonstrate how starting with a small amount can add up over time, which leads on to our next point.
So tip 2 is about being tax efficient when saving. So when we say about being efficient, it's saving and investing in a way that's going to give returns which are income tax free and capital gains tax free. So another poll. So if we scan the QR code again, if you need to. Now, how many of you know the maximum amount that you can save into an adult ISA each year? So we've got either £10,000, £15,000 or £20,000.
Oh, it's reassuring. Some good answers there.
Yeah, majority is correct. So when saving in a tax efficient manner, ISAs are the first port of action. You can save up to £20,000 a year per adult, so that's per parent, and they allow compound interest to work. The longer the money is invested, the better, which is why starting early matters.
So to show you the power of this, we've drawn you a table. Now, you can add as little as you want to an ISA, but in this table, we've gone for the highest amount, so that's £20,000 per year, and we've done this over a 4-year period. Over 4 years of contributions, assuming a growth rate of 5%, you'd have over £90,000, even though you only contribute just shy of £80,000. If you're saving up for 5 years of secondary education, which would, as a rough guide, come to around £108,544, this is a big portion of that saved up already. And that's because you've let your money grow over time. The earlier you start, the longer your money has time to work. Also remember that your £20,000 limit is per person. So if there are 2 parents, both can open one up.
There are also ISA products for children as well, called junior ISAs. They have a smaller amount that you can add of £9,000 per year per child. Parents or guardians have control of the JISA until the child turns 16, so you don't need to worry about them spending the money on chocolate and toys. A JISA can also be helpful for putting extra money away towards education fees, or generally just putting money away for future landmarks like property purchases or their first car. Also, other people can contribute towards the JISA as well.
Tip 3 is picking the right ISA. So continuing with ISAs, the good news is that you have options and can pick one that matches your investment appetite. There are 5 types of ISA, but only 3 are relevant here. The cash ISA, which might be quite familiar, act like savings accounts with easy access and provide guaranteed returns. However, they typically provide low interest rates, which often wouldn't keep up with the rate of inflation. So these wouldn't work well when working towards a savings goal. Stocks and shares ISAs work differently and are geared towards saving for a longer period of time. Investments can fluctuate in value, so there is a higher element of risk attached, but the longer the money is invested for, the more your money has time to work. There is a junior ISA, which Shannon mentioned previously, and you'll have the choice to go with a cash JISA or a stocks and shares JISA, and the same pros and cons apply as above. There are a couple more types of ISAs, such as lifetime ISAs and innovation finance ISAs. However, they serve a different purpose and aren't really relevant to saving towards education fees, and they're not offered by St James's Place. Tip 4 is a mouthful called mutually beneficial assistance. It links to being tax efficient, but essentially, if any family or friends wanted to contribute financially, they can do so in a way that benefits them as well.
So grandparents and others can use an allowance they have called gifting, which allows them to give up to £3,000 per year without them or the recipient incurring any tax. If they gift more than this, then taxes may be liable. This is beneficial for the gift giver, as it's also a tax-free way for them to reduce their estate for inheritance tax purposes. Now, tip 5 is about bursaries and scholarships. So did you know that a third of pupils at fee-paying schools are receiving some sort of reduction in fees? It's worth checking to see if you qualify for similar assistance. Some schools offer assistance for pupils who have a talent in sport or academia, which can lead to a reduction in fees of up to 10%. Now, for bursaries, thanks to large endowment funds, particularly at higher profile schools, these are top-up scholarships for a range of pupils, not just those deemed to be talented. So it's always good to ask about any available in your initial research stage.
Okay, so we've thrown a lot of information at you there with lots of numbers. If you want to analyse where you are in preparation for education fees, we've made a quiz. It has some questions on research and investments, and it will generate you a custom report with actionable insights. So you can take that now by scanning the QR code on your screen. And recording now is about to stop. Whilst you're doing the quiz, we'll answer some of your questions.